The power of the mic. Hey, welcome. 25th of June. You know what this is? It's exactly 2 months until my next birthday. And I know we're all getting born, and, there's no great excitement about being a day closer to death. Do you know what? If you're anything like me, an excuse to celebrate, especially these days, is no bad thing. The title is misleading today because I'm going to be writing a piece of some flavour about IoT, which is the Internet of Things. And this is kind of an experiment, right? I'm bringing you along with me on a journey to see how I tackle writing something completely from scratch. I mean, I might just want to back up. Hi, I'm Dave Thackeray. I run a company called Word and Mouth, which is here to remove the blockers from your customers achieving success through your organization. Whatever it is that you sell, we all shill to varying degrees. Whatever it is that you want to provide to your clients or customers that has some value about it, Word and Mouth is here to remove all the objections by positioning your business in a way that your customers need it to be positioned, in a word. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch over to share my screen now. And you can now see this beautiful aerial shot. I would imagine either captured via paramotor or drone. It matters not. And what we're going to do, and this is probably going to take about an hour, I want to set myself a challenge of writing this piece. And as you can see, my weapon of choice is Notepad. Zero clutter. No distractions, just a safe space to create words that ultimately will become some kind of article that I'm hoping will serve those people who are unfamiliar or have a basic understanding of the Internet of Things, with something to pique their interest, with something to give them reason to explore further. I'm not going to become an expert in this crazy world within 60 minutes. It's impossible. There are people who've been doing this for decades. I have a basic understanding, but I want to take it back even a step before that to see what I can find on the internet. I'm not going to start doing things like look at YouTube videos today. I'm not going to start listening to podcasts because it's not right for the medium. If I want to go and do some further discovery work after this hour, then, I'll go and check that stuff out. But for now, this is all about seeing what's out there on the internet. I'm probably not even going to go and check out Google Scholar, to be honest, because a lot of research papers are going to take ages to trawl through. Lots of activity upstairs today, and it's quite a gusty day. And just to caveat all this, right, I'm sort of justifying myself here a little bit. But there we go. Yeah, that's fine, isn't it? I've been out today. I've been to do my shopping. I've been for another walk, and I've done all of my housework. So you can check that box. And now this is a little bit of me time now, where I can play, and I love words. I love writing stuff. So we're going to spend about 57 minutes doing it. So first thing I'm going to do is just open up. I checked this out earlier, actually. IoT breakthroughs. I'm just going to start a few tabs right now. I'm going to go for the full jugular Internet of Things as well as IoT and IoT breakthroughs, because I just want to get a real feel for who are the key protagonists right now in this space, and start looking at some of the visuals that have been created, which, if I'm writing something and it's totally new to me and I want to get a ground level understanding of it, sometimes Google Images can be a great place to start, because there's an awful lot of infographics, varying degrees of good, but there's an awful lot of infographics and visual statements that people have crafted, and they've spent quite a lot of time on them, and it takes you seconds to write a sentence, but it might take you hours to create something that has visual impact. So it's not proven, it's not disproven. But looking at some of this stuff, there's a lot of heft, a lot of work gone into this. And I'm quickly starting to get a sense now already that the vast majority of stuff about IoT, now you'll know IoT is a lot about sort of connecting various things in the real world, not only with other things in the real world, so that we can create like a network of real things, hence the T in the IoT, but also we can transmit the outputs of those things, which in digital terms is data, to computers, so that the computers can then chew up that data and spit out some useful insights, monitoring to support research. IoT is probably, we talk about things like the smart home, kitchen, Alexa, and a fridge that can order stuff when you run out of milk. That's sort of very rudimentary examples of IoT. But on a bigger scale, on an impact level scale, we're talking about stuff like smart cities and thinking about, is it Lime, those scooters? Good example. I think there's probably some knocking about. I think there's Mobike as well. I think I saw in Manchester, where if you take them out, there's a sensor, and the sensor will relay to the control station exactly where that machine is. And I would imagine that there'll be some way of saying, if there's a puncture in the tire, I don't know, I can't imagine. I think that's probably science fiction. I think that's probably more in the domain of somebody like Douglas, whatever his name is, who did Discworld. I only got a D in general studies, remember, you should know that. So all the stuff here about Industry 4.0 is valid, because as we move closer to automation, I'm just going to start making some just sort of random notes here. Automation nation's nice, isn't it? Well, as we start trying to become more efficient in how we do things, IoT is going to be great. But I just feel like IoT is so inaccessible to most people. It's a TLA, the 3-letter acronym, and everybody pathologically hates acronyms because it makes the provider of them very haughty, very narcissistic, very solipsistic, self-centered. Why don't you know? It's all like a game of inside baseball. It's like you can look behind the velvet rope, but you can't come in. So so first of all, it's like, how do we move the Internet of Things into a realm where it is widely accessible? Because the more people know about it, the more we can start making progress with it beyond the four walls of the factory, or just giving managers, reasons to crack the whip with a little more force. Nice, a bit of Vimto. There's got to be some real tangible examples, if not today, certainly in the near term, of how IoT is truly transformative. I hate to use the word disruptive. I don't like this whole idea of, I like gentle agitation. I don't want you to upturn the apple cart. So what I'm getting here is, this is very business. This is not really, that's fair enough, but it's just a bit of art. I think what we need to do is, and that's the important thing as well, isn't it? It's the cloud. The cloud is your data lake. It's where all the information will go from all of these connected Meetverse appliances, and then companies will tap into that to make real world decisions. So that's quite nice. So the real world is getting digital, and that digital output is helping us to build a better real world. Okay, it's nice. But anyway, that's just to get a bit of a sense check. So what do IoT means? Clearly English isn't Google's mother tongue. So we've already talked about that. It's physical stuff to measure how these real world devices work. They typically feature low energy sensors that connect via Wi-Fi or connect via Bluetooth or connect via NFC, near field communication. So, I mean, if you think about this, that means that all of these devices are ready-made for interfacing with the blockchain. And I'm sorry if you joined me thinking this was going to be like a 303 into the IoT. It's really not. It's to help me process some thoughts, take in some stimulation from various sources, and then produce something that people may find of value. So these sensors, I think it's worth mentioning. So it's Bluetooth, it's NFC, it's Wi-Fi. I'm just wondering whether there's like any sort of homebrew applications. So what right? So me, apart from stuff like the smart home and the smart city, what are the things? And right, hesitation, stop, rewind, pause. I don't have a specific objective in mind, but to educate myself and ultimately to create some kind of artifact that someone somewhere may pick up and read and go, well, that's taken me in a different direction, or that's helped me do things a little differently, or maybe I need to check out that link to someone with a much bigger mind than mine when it comes to matters IoT. We might want to help somebody to earn some money. We might want to help somebody to tidy their home better. We might want to help a group of people to share their findings with another group of people halfway across the world, and then pooling their expertise and resources to together build better themselves and actually to build a better planet. Cheers. So as I'm browsing across the web and I'm just taking it, and by the way, I'm not going to look at white papers, stuff you. I have had a look at this because sometimes you can see through looking at the winners, you can get a real sense of who's doing a great job. So awards are a really good source. Let me just rationalize this here. So Google Images. So where to start? Look at sort of leaders in the space, breakthroughs. And by leaders in the space, we could mean things like award hosts and award winners. This is just having a little bit of a think. And we could do things like look at Google Trends to see what the words and phrases are that people are using in conjunction with Internet of Things. And to, I think it's trends.google.com, or it could be google.com/trends. Let's try that. Let's actually bring it closer to home and go google.co.uk. It's trends.google.co.uk. Just goes to show how little I know. Internet of Things. What I'm going to do is actually compare Internet of Things. It's a search term on a topic. That's interesting, isn't it? What I'm going to do is I'm going to compare that to IoT as a search term as well. So, yes, as you'd imagine, because it's less effort, most people are searching for Internet of Things in the acronym. way. So I'm curious about Internet of Things as a topic. Related queries. Let's just have a look. There's only 6 queries. Vodafone IT. So interesting that Vortex and Vodafone are top of the tree when it comes to companies that are stealing ahead. And I'm at Vortex as well. This is my call a universe of tabs, and I still don't group tabs as you can yet, which I suppose would be good. These are very industrial. I don't necessarily want to go down this rabbit hole. I do kind of get quite excited about smart parking. I like that. I don't think it's going to be useful for this article, but nonetheless, I'm going to bank it. And I'm going to have a quick look here and just have a see. So, Vodafone, who are best known for telecoms and communications, are making heat detection cameras to help companies operate safely in an age of COVID-19. That's good. Smart objects. Distributed edge computing, yeah, so that you can manage the data. All of this stuff, there's so much things going on. But I think this is the problem. This is the problem. And I don't know if you see it, I don't know if you feel it with me, but where is the genuine excitement in such transformative tech? And it's not even about the tech, is it? It's about it's such a potentially transformational. What is it? Transformative and transformational shift, or to what might be a paradigm shift in how we live. Change everything, couldn't it? Look at all this. I kind of like this. I like this. Might have a look at this, but obviously, by the very nature of the fact that it is inside the business area, it's not for me, because I want to bring it home. I want to get one thing. I'm thinking like Tom Scott. He did a good explanation the other day on the Marcus Brownlee podcast. Can't remember the name of the podcast. You find it. It was filmed. It's on YouTube. Look for Marcus. It's all over. Anyway, he was talking about where these days, if he shoots a film and he cannot find a snappy enough title that's going to guarantee people are going to click it, might be in the project, and it's talking about a video about one of these sea life sensors, and how he was calling it a spaceship for sharks. It kind of is a life support system for these creatures, and in an unknown world. And so I'm trying to think about this article along the same lines. It's like, so I guess I need to go to news.google.com. But first, I kind of need to think about some phrases and words that speak very broadly about IoT's potential or IoT's current impact. Maybe just to truly understand. But I'm going to change the, I'm going to go into anytime, and I'm going to look for maybe since start of the year. Let's go right up to now. To see this is something that I'd like to listen to offline, and I will do that. It's not for now, But and thinking about, what I'd really like to see on Google search results, and I know by its very nature, Google shows you results based on what it believes has the greatest value to, well, it uses a lot of criteria based on your search history, based on what others are searching for, using similar terms, detecting patterns in searches so that they can use structured data as well to sort of best predict. If you were searching for babe, are you looking for a date or are you looking for a CGI laden film with a pig in it? So I think I might bank these for later. What I like about you're gonna just let me add it? Yeah, you are. What I quite like about Google these days as well is that it gives you a real smorgasbord of results. It's not just about plain old articles. It'll share with you news updates related to what you're searching for. There's a new and much more powerful Bluetooth device and associated protocol now that can amplify data with a much greater radius. So I always remember ages ago there was I think they used to call it blue jacking, where you used to be able to drive a car with a Bluetooth transmitter into the middle of an open shopping precinct, and if people had Bluetooth switched on, you could send them messages from this transmitter on top of your car to all these people. So if you had a campaign for new look, add a new collection out, you could just blast people's phones. It was a little bit random because not everybody had Bluetooth set up to accept pairing requests or message. I don't know exactly how it was. Again, general knowledge is a little bit on the mediocre side, but it was quite. I think I'm sure it's called blue jacking. But I'm looking at some of the news now as well, and Internet of Things blockchain project. So it could be, and it's good that Microsoft have, really sort of mainstreamed this concept as well, and that's going to be interesting. But the more I look at stuff like this as well about Internet of Things and blockchain, and I don't see a lot of blockchain and IoT related chat. So it might be, I'll just have a quick look at that at some point, even though it's called the Daily Huddle, and give that some thought. So let's see what we've come up with. So that's your podcast, how to successfully integrate IoT. I think I'm going to reluctantly concede at this point, unless there's an IoT podcast for consumers. Again, if there's I'm going to put this on the list now. If there is a good podcast, YouTube, check out titles for Inspo. Season 2, doing well. Rebels, yeah, another one. Smart Stories, living and co-working. That's interesting. Security. Just pop these in the interesting topics bucket. I'm going to put security, co-working. That's an interesting one. Blockchain. Satellites. Wearables. It cliched. It done. Maybe. 35 best podcasts. So we're pretty established here.